Okay, good to go. Get this cobweb ready at the top. Yeah, just like a typical Monday, recapping, a lot to learn from that tape on Sunday, and really in all three phases. Did appreciate their, competitiveness, the battle for 60 minutes, found a way at the end of the game, and we did that. And so it's nice. You're trying to win games, and then when you look to improve, there was a bunch there for us. But did appreciate their effort for 60 minutes, which I did think Stanford played their best game. We helped them do that in ways, but I did think they played well. They came enthused, were on task, and did a good job. Give credit to those guys. Excited to get back on and play and reach the stadium. Looking forward to the energy in the crowd making a huge difference for us. Hopefully we can play well enough to keep them in it, because they make a huge factor in the game, make a difference. And we're playing a good team. Washington State really challenge you on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively. They're having a good year. You look at who they've been able to beat and come up short against a couple really good teams. So they're going to be a challenge that we're going to need to prepare really well
for. After the game Saturday night, I felt like you were pretty happy to win the game, but it felt like there was this kind of heavy undertone of concern. Am I right there? Were you pretty concerned about the way you?
Well, I mean, you're always concerned on, again, finding ways we got to be able to play better. And there was a lot that we didn't do well in the game, that it's going to cost us games. We were fortunate to find a way to win the game at the end. And again, that's what you're trying to do. You play a game and try to win it, and we did. But throughout the game, there's a lot that we got to clean up.
Where's Chance at? Is he?
Yeah, we're hopeful he can practice a little bit toward the week, into the week. Currently, the last update I got yesterday, didn't think he would be able to practice Tuesday, but we'll find out.
So do you feel like Ben is probably going to be the quarterback?
He's going to get a lot of reps, and he did some good things in the game. For our first start, 2 touchdowns, no picks, a couple sacks that, he's got to do better on in that. And so we're looking for him, if he's the guy this weekend, to take a nice step from game 1 start to game 2.
What did you feel like he did well, and then obviously there was a sack component of how much that was on him?
I think his decision making was solid throughout the night, where he's going with the ball for the most part. He held the ball a few times that led to sacks. Could have got the ball out of his hand a little bit earlier, led to sacks. So he did a lot of good things.
The guys after the game talked about how they don't quit, and they believe they could win. I mean, every team since Pop Warner has said that. What is is there a certain makeup though of a team that actually does believe that? And because these guys apparently do. Have you seen that from even maybe the 2019 and 20 and 18 teams that they were kind of building toward that sort of belief? Or
yeah, there's a lot there. I do think these guys understand how long college football games are, and it's not always going to go perfect in the first 3 quarters, but ultimately you got to finish the game in the 4th, and we've had examples of having to do that, and when we didn't do that, we've lost. So they understand the importance of finishing, and they're locked in to do it.
Pass protection. Did you make any structural changes in the 4th quarter, or was it just better execution?
A little bit better execution. Nothing dramatically changed in the 4th. Yeah.
Against Washington State, obviously, since you got here, you haven't beaten them. What has kind of been their thing the last 5 years that has been so hard to get over the top against?
Yeah, each game's a little bit different. I just think it's a quality program that competes. Then, particularly to this year, both sides of the ball create some problems. They got some good players, good schemes, and you got to play well and win.
And from your perspective, you're at the midway point of the season now, 6 games through. Just kind of comparing to the expectations maybe you had going into the season, offensively, defensively, how do you feel like you've maybe reached expectations or not lived up to them?
I think it's each week you're trying to be a little bit better. All 3 phases have done some solid things, some things that need to show up. Each week is new and different, whether we're playing high-scoring games, low-scoring games. So again, it's a halfway point, and the expectation is find a way to get better this week and then continue to improve.
If you would have had to kick an extra point or a field goal to win the game, would you have been able to do that?
Yes, yeah, yep.
So what was the tipping point, I guess, to where you decided to go for 2-pointers? Because
Yep.
if you could have, why did I guess?
I know, and I thought the same thing. And this starts and ends with me. I'll just go back. We score, we're down 14, we score, we go for 2, don't get it. Even that logic by going for 2 and say you do get it, well, then if you score it again, what are you going to do? Go for 2 and the game's tied? No, you're going to kick it. So my thinking at the time to go for 2, long snapper's down. We'd already missed 2. What's the chances? Let's go try to double our points. But even using that logic, we're going to probably have to kick it again. And credit to Peyton, I know it's not a short snap, but a long snap, we did end up doing that in the fourth quarter, and he threw a strike back there. So all of us, I go back to not the players, these coaches, all of us trying to learn and grow each week, learning lesson for me.
Why are penalties still an issue with this team?
Yeah, I thought it was uncharacteristic, the type of penalties we got on the personal foul thing, and we got to get that cleaned up. I do think we're not trying to play games with no penalties. But we've had a few games that the number's been too high, and these guys aren't trying to make mistakes. They're playing really hard. We got to just tighten up because it's compounded. It's not just false starts. It's not just holding on offense or defense. Then you threw the personal foul thing in last week. We want to get it better.
You guys were really good in the red zone early in the season. Lately, it's been kind of a mixed bag. What is it? Simply, you don't have Luke out there, and it's just harder to score in that area?
I think there's a few factors, and each game's a little different. I look at the Utah thing, we go down there and we just flat out throw interceptions. The other one, we got ourselves into the longer downs down there in the red zone. It turns into, I think about even the fourth down we scored on. The third down play, we don't execute it all the way through a bowl of dirt and run a bad route. So we got to execute a little bit better. We're definitely missing a piece or two, but we got plenty of players. The way we can the run game. The difference between 7 and 3 points / 0 points is huge, and we're going to need it this week.
Jonathan, you talked about wanting to see more explosive plays in the run game, and David Martinez, 3 carries, 83 yards, and the last one, the definition of that. I mean, did he have more of a burst than he's shown? Were they blocked up better, or what happened on his run?
I thought they were blocked well. He did make some guys miss at the next level, which that creates an explosion. We had some other carries that got to the next level, and again, guys went down. I mean, 3 carries for 80 some odd yards. You'd like to think he'd get more than 3 carries.
And on the final decision to take a knee rather than even go for 2, is that what is your what's the think? Just there's only one play that can beat you, maybe, or what?
Yeah, with 13 seconds. And again, I go back. I don't like that decision either. And I'm going. I make these decisions. So 13 seconds left. The potential that they could take the thing back 97 yards was some of the thinking. We'd already fumbled an exchange on a 2-point play. Too conservative, though. Too conservative. They had 2 timeouts, 13 seconds. Their kicker is good. Should have run a high percentage play to go for 2, but we should have ran a play, in my opinion, now. That's what I'm back to. All of us are trying to learn and grow,
Well, you won and you dodged a bullet at the same time. Washington State, through the years, they've always had some kind of wild run and gun and versions of that. I don't know, what are they doing now offensively that a person would see differently as they come to research this week from last year or any previous years?
It'll look similar in regards to spread. Some people out play with a lot of receivers. They challenge you and attack you. A lot of the receivers screen. They will run the ball. The quarterback's being able to stand in the pocket and make big time throws. He's able to extend and buy time and throw it. So it's tough to get to him, especially with the threat that the ball's going to come out so quick. And they're not all 100% pass. These guys can run the ball. They got some good athletes. It's a challenging offense.
And they've always, it seems, had really good physical defenses. Is this year's team like that?
Yeah, the defensive, pressure the quarterback, whether they're blitzing or just rushing their 4 guys. This D-line's as good as we've played all season. They challenge you on the back end. And Coach Dickerson does a good job in changing the identity of that play, so being one of the best defenses in the league.
Everett and a couple of other guys like him that have been out a couple weeks. Any updates on them?
Well, hopefully Everett continues to be cleared. He's feeling better. but we'll kind of see by the end of the week. Trelo's getting closer, but I doubt it for this weekend. Joe Golden getting closer. We'll kind of see by the end of the week. Hopeful on Dylan Blacksett by the end of the week. We'll see if he's able to go. So kind of day to day on Dylan.
Well, one other guy, Sandberg, left the game late. Is he?
Oh, Simon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything that he'll be good.
I saw Newell come in the last is he? So he's available to play. I mean, he was kind of a thing in camp.
Yeah, he's available and he's continued to work hard. We do feel like we got 3 guys that are doing some good things, and that backfield is just crowded like that.
Could you elaborate a little bit on Bolden's catch? Because, I mean, given the situation, the throw, the catch,
Yep.
I mean, is there a finer play that you could, I mean, other than, Harrison, obviously.
Yeah.
But I mean, just everything was just like 100% went right on that play.
Yeah, it did. And so it's 4th down, one-on-one shot for Bolton. His capability to focus, obviously secure the catch with 1 foot, get down. Even the detail you see when he lands with that 1 foot of just going with his toes, not completely to his heel. It's actually something we brought up. Coach Fence, wideouts aware of. In regards to staying in bounds with the toe of the heel goes straight down to out of bounds. It's not a catch. There's a bunch of details, a big time play.
How much did you guys show that to the team yesterday? Just as as one to,
We definitely showed it because I did need to mix in a positive player too.
That's what
And so
was.
yeah, we showed that one play for sure.
Well, another play though, the last one with Trayshawn, he said as soon as he caught it, he was thinking of scoring. So is that a function of practice, those types of plays against the clock? I mean, that was nigh to miraculous, but he seemed to know what his plan was.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big time catch. Because it's more or less getting double teamed. The way they're playing that coverage in 2-man, corners underneath, he didn't have eyes on the ball. I mean, Trayshawn's going back over, he catches it really one-handed. And then, yeah, you're turning to go score, especially in the desperation we were in. Obviously game-changing, game-winning type play.
Getting back to Reser for just the 3rd time this week, and then obviously you've got back-to-back home games, the bye week. Just kind of how nice is it to come back and not have to go on the road for a little bit here?
Yeah, it's nice to play at home. I know our guys have confidence that the crowd's going to help them, especially on defense, and we're going to need it. And so it's this week-a-week approach, but it'll be nice to sleep in our own beds for a couple weeks.